Yes, good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name na Davidgoldd, as you all know. You are welcome to Koke Radio and Television Station. Still on this same election matter, and also this matter wey dey happen for court on top this electoral and presidential election wey just pass about few weeks ago. Now, Section 137 don disqualify Tunubu for being a president. I want make una watch this short video. Make una see things wey disqualify Tunubu of being president of Nigeria. As one man don go fish out those constitutional laws. In fact, you go watch inside this video. I say specifically explain how e take be. Reasons why Tunubu must not be a president according to the law of this country. Watch this video. May you see am. May you take understand so that person no go come use bread take pack your soup from your pot. Watch the video. May you see am.
Section 137D. Section 137D. That is the section that Tunubu or APC or any of their lawyers don't want to hear right now, because it's their albatross. They don't want to hear it. But it's the section that is music to my ears, the music to the ears of obedience, music to the ears of patriotic Nigerians out there, music that gives hope that indeed the mandate of the people will be retrieved from the APC and given back to the Labour Party, to Peter Obi, so that the new Nigeria that we know and believe is possible will become real. Section 137D. APC doesn't want to hear it. Tunubu doesn't want to hear it. Neither do their lawyers. But we must hear it. They no one hear it, but they must hear it. What does Section 137 really say? We'll read it word for word. It's written in plain English. So if you read, you will understand it. If you are like, if you have attended school, you have attended even only primary school, you don't even have any secondary school experience, don't worry. So far as you can read and write, you will understand what Section 137 subsection D says about who is qualified to be president of Nigeria. It's talking about disqualifications. In fact, Section 137 has 10 subsections. 10 criteria that defines who is qualified to be president of Nigeria. Unfortunately, the APC tries to hide behind subsection E. We'll read about that subsection. But what finishes them, what puts the final nail on the coffin for them, is subsection D. So we'll start with subsection D, and then we'll read subsection E, and then we'll interpret it as laymen, so that there'll be no confusion. No confusion. Now, Chapter 6, Part 1, Section 137 of the Constitution of Nigeria, which handles disqualification, reads, and I say, a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of president if, it mentions A, he takes the citizenship of another country, B, he has been elected to the office of president for 2 terms before, C, he is adjudged to be a lunatic or declared to be of unsound mind. In fact, this subsection C makes it compulsory for any person who is running for president to be checked. Yes, for mental health. Yeah, but we'll come to that another day. D, which is the part that interests me. Remember, a person shall not be qualified for election to the office of president if D, he is under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud, by whatever name called, or for any offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal, or substituted by any competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal. Section 137, subsection 1D. That's the part they don't want to hear. I just read it now. That section 137, subsection 1D has two components. The first component is if he is under a sentence of death imposed on him by any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, that's one. Or if he is under a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name called, or for any offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal, or substituted by a competent authority for any sentence, any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal. You see the two components of section 137, subsection 1D. Two parts. A sentence of death, which must be imposed by a court in Nigeria, or a sentence of fine or imprisonment, which can be imposed by any competent court in any part of the world. By that second part of subsection 1D of section 137, it simply means that you cannot commit robbery and be convicted of robbery in America and then come to Nigeria and say you want to become president. You cannot be convicted of rape in United Arab Emirates and then come to Nigeria and say you want to be president. You cannot be convicted of stealing in the United Kingdom and then you come to Nigeria and say you want to be president. That is what the second part of that subsection 1D of section 137 says. So the argument that Tinubu and his lawyers are making that the fine, the sentence of fine that was imposed on Tinubu in America does not apply in Nigeria is false. Because it will only be correct if it had been a sentence of death that was imposed on Tinubu. Then you would have said, oh, that sentence of death was imposed in America, so it does not apply in Nigeria. But that is not the sentence that is of interest to Nigerians. And to this case, the sentence that is of interest is the sentence of fine. And from the second part of subsection 1D of section 137 of the Constitution of Nigeria that I just read, the second part says that if the person has come under a sentence of imprisonment or a sentence of fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name called, or for any other offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal, or substituted by a competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal. Any court, underline. Any court. Now we have a court in America that sentenced Tinubu to a fine of $460,000 which he forfeited. For what? Is it for Gary? Is it for Ewa? No. He did not forfeit it for Gary. He did not forfeit it for Ewa. He did not forfeit it for cassava. What did he forfeit it for? He forfeited it because that money was represented proceeds of narcotics trafficking. That money represented proceeds of narcotics trafficking. That was why he forfeited that 460,000 US dollars. Now, Tinubu lawyer says he surrendered it. He did not surrender it all. The court ordered that the money be forfeited. And why was it forfeited? Because the court had given a previous order for the money to be frozen, for the accounts to be frozen, for the money to be seized. Why was the money seized before? Why did the court issue a seizure order to freeze those accounts belonging to Tinubu? Because the monies were being withdrawn and being used to buy land in order to cover the tracks for these drug cartels and their members. So it was not that he voluntarily surrendered. No. The money was first of all seized. This investigation took well over 6 years. And after 6 years, the investigating officer, Kevin Moss, swore an affidavit and detailed the findings of his investigation.
My people, so when I don't hear now, have you heard, did you just heard what that young man said as he speak? He defined and he explained one after the other. He take explainer. Now the question be say, is Tinubu qualified to be the president of this nation? Is he qualified or disqualified? According to the constitutional law of Nigeria, we all of us, both president, governor, citizen, they under. Is Tinubu qualified to be the president of this country? My brother, as I always tell now, make una dey stay away from trouble. From this your youthful age, use them judiciously and wisely because of the future. In fact, if you are living a life, don't live a life because of today, but live on because of, say, future they come. I don't talk my own, no, and I don't close my mouth. Una bye. Ọmọ ní ìfowóṣe ni.